Welcome back. You're tuned into your Feel Good Breakfast Show, Expresso, right here on SABC3. So good to be hanging out with you on your Friday morning. Now, coming up next, in a dramatic documentary-style content piece, Mercedes-Benz takes viewers on a journey along Chapmans Peak Drive with Christopher White, a survivor of a crash 30 years ago that saw him lose control of his beloved Mercedes-Benz after moments inattention and plummeted the equivalent of 30 stories onto the jagged rocks below. I mean, that's a crash that he only survived because he was wearing his seatbelt and, of course, driving a Mercedes-Benz. And I remember the story so well growing up and seeing that ad in the 90s, so remarkable. But let's quickly take a look at Christopher's journey 3 years later.
Imagine you are Christopher White driving home. You're extremely tired and not watching the road properly.
From what I understand, they didn't think he could possibly have survived it.
The mechanical crunching sound was frightening.
In our line of work, certain things just stick in your mind and they stand out, and that was one of them.
Think of a 30-story building. That's the drop.
Christopher White survived this 100-meter plunge for two reasons. He was wearing his seatbelt, and he was driving a Mercedes-Benz.
I don't know how long I was on the deck, but I got out the car. That's the amazing thing. I cluck, the seatbelt, got out the car.
Chris became a bit famous after that, and people used to come up to us in the street and say, "Oh, you, Mr. Christopher White?"
I love my car. And I'd also just had it derusted and some of the leather inside on the armrest replaced. Wow, I'd got this thing going now for another 3 or 4 years, and then I went over the cliff. It's scary. It's very scary to see it and to believe that you got out of a car that went over that far down.
I'm Jeff Betterson. I was the operational head of the Metro Rescue Unit when Mr. White had his infamous accident on Chapmans Peak. Our guys were activated. They got there, stabilized him, and then brought him to the road surface. Mr. White was very fortunate to survive his incident.
It could be that corner. There it is. It's definitely that cliff there. That's it, right there. To think they had to climb down all of that to save me. To relive this makes me quite emotional. Nearly went off the road.
Chris, stay away from the edge.
So I was in a very cool place playing music. You know what the tape was? Tracy Chapman, Fast Car. And then I took my eye off the road for literally seconds. Then I just saw all these cassettes going through the roof because the sunroof was open. These things flying past me, and then kadoom. Okay. You serious? Well, I mean, they're not going to put me behind the wheel if it doesn't work. I must be honest, I'm actually scared of the car. Conditions were murky and he was tired. I skidded and went over the edge.
Let go of the steering wheel.
Oh, I don't want to.
Over the edge and into a headlong dive close to 100 meters down on unforgiving rocks. I remember falling, and there were rocks flying past the car.
Autonomous, here we go.
This is real. It's a bit scary. I remember hitting the rocks and getting out of the car.
Car's in control. And as we get closer to the corner, yes, I can feel my heart beating.
The plunge should have been fatal.
Coming closer, you can see the stone walls.
Imagine you are Christopher White driving home. You're extremely tired and not watching the road properly.
Well, what an incredible story told.
Just listening to that, it's like my heart is
later.
racing, man.
And check it out, here we are in our garage, our studio garage, next to the brand new 2018 Mercedes-Benz S-Class. This is, I mean, from an aesthetic point of view, it's all the bells and whistles. It looks absolutely amazing in this beautiful black finish.
It is. It's a beast, dude. And as amazing as the silhouette is, and the 560 really is like top of the range, what's going on inside is truly amazing. When we think back to what happened 30 years ago and how those safety features saved a man's life, you want to avoid that completely if you can. So we move on to something just unbelievable to me, energizing comfort control. So it works on a number of levels. It's a system that is designed either to stimulate, energize the driver during those monotonous driving situations, or create a tailored sense of well-being, a targeted sense of well-being. It uses thermotronic air balance packages, ambient lighting, so a lighting mood, even uses fragrance and energizing massage functions through the seat itself. The whole idea is to pick you up at those key moments so that you are alert while you're driving, and it can activate when you need it to activate your system. It's mind-blowing, dude.
And we'll get inside the car in a short bit. So let's talk about those 3 programs that are focused on energizing and refreshing the climate control. Because you know, like when you're saying, when you're on those long drives, trying to keep fresh in the car, keep yourself awake, and it does this through a strong airflow. There's this stimulating music that you can then cue up to play. There's training videos that animate the viewer, so that's keeping you engaged the entire time. You talk about when you're driving at night on those long road trips, you need to, I think, curate that kind of ambient lighting inside the car that will keep you energized, keep you focused on the road, and that is in there. Also with the fragrance ionization that of the air balance package that you were talking about. There's seat ventilation that comes around with the main functions that reinforce, of course, that desired effect. And then 3 further programs that are heating on the armrest, on the seats. There's a massage function that energizes the driver. So all the bells and whistles to make sure that you enjoy the long road trips out there while keeping safe as well.
And in a car that's comfortable, you need that energizing, trust me, but it is beautiful. So I'm going to step inside the cockpit here. And
we will step inside.
Dude, get in here. All right.
You go ahead. I want to check out the back quickly first.
Just get comfortable in there.
Oh, yeah.
So I'm going to move over to our energizing comforts. Open it up here. So it's going to give us 3 choices here. We can go refresh, okay?
Yeah.
Which refresh gives us green-blue lighting and a cool, refreshing breeze that will whisk you away to the coast. I'll take that. We can go vitality. Vitality gives us a revitalizing effect produced by stimulating light and invigorating music. I've kept the volume down because we are on camera here, but this is my best, dude. So I'm going to leave it on vitality because it's been a long, crazy show. We want to stay awake, you know. Training. Now get this, dude. Let's go for a little muscle stimulation.
I'm ready.
We're halfway through the Karoo. It's the evening.
Go for it.
And it actually takes us through a training program. So muscle stimulation.
Okay, so here we go. You're going to roll your shoulders backwards.
Work those.
Okay, cool. So you can actually play it.
There we go. You want to work those shoulders.
Up and down.
And it's actually got 11 settings that'll take us right through our body.
Yeah.
And the whole point here is that it wants to keep you awake and revitalized throughout one of those long journeys. But I mean, how cool does it feel sitting in this cockpit, dude?
Sorry, we forgot to tell the producers. So this is the part of the show where we drive off in the vehicle and say, bye.
Adios, muchachos. And we are off.